Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and we're going to review the iPhone 6. I've been using it for about a week. I used the 6 Plus prior to that, and I wanted to give a full week to give you a really thorough review of what the iPhone 6 is like to use for everyday use. The iPhone 6 comes in the same colors as last year's model with silver, gold, and space gray. They come in at $199, $299, and $399 with a 2-year contract for 16, 64, or 128 gigabyte models. If you wanted that unlocked, it's $649, $749, and $849 respectively. The front of the phone and the whole phone in general is just a beautiful design. It's actually my favorite iPhone after using it for quite some time since it's been out. The front of the display is 4.7 inches on the iPhone 6, and it's really the perfect size. For anyone that's used a lot of different phones, I find 4.7 inches to be the perfect size, and this is the best time to actually get an iPhone, I think, if you've never had one, just because of that display. It's 720p, has great viewing angles, and in recent tests has actually only come in second to all other phones, in the first place being the 6 Plus with a little bit higher resolution. The front of the display on the top also has your HD FaceTime camera and Touch ID down at the bottom. Apple's made the change with the larger display to the power button on the right hand side. It really fits perfectly in your hand, and when you put your finger on it, it's actually where your pointer finger would land, or your thumb depending on which hand you're holding it in. On the other side, they've kept the volume buttons and vibrate switch in the same place, but made the volume buttons a little bit more like the iPad Air's volume buttons. There's really nothing on the top anymore, but on the bottom you've got the lightning adapter as you would expect, and then you've got your speaker and microphone and 3.5mm headphone jack. On the back, we have a camera that actually protrudes out of the back, which means the phone won't lay flat unless you have a case on it, which is something new for Apple. But what they did was update the sensor inside. Even though it's still 8 megapixels, it now has what Apple calls as focus pixels. This allows them to more quickly focus on whatever you're filming or taking video of, and it's definitely very good, and I'll show you that a little bit later. The microphone is also right next to it, and then you have your True Tone flash next to that as well. The back also has lines on the top and bottom, and those are actually the antennas for different things such as your Wi-Fi and cellular connection and Bluetooth. You really need that to get through the aluminum. You really can't transmit that data through aluminum so efficiently, so they've moved to that. Now with iPhone 6, we get iOS 8, and they recently released this for a bunch of different devices going back to the iPhone 4S. It's really a nice update, and it's actually the biggest update in many years, and it's really what iOS 7 should have been. I'm not going to go over all of the features as I've done that in a different video, and I can post that in a link below, but there are a couple nice things they've done with the iPhone 6. So if you double tap the home button, don't click it, just double tap it, it will drop the screen down so you can more easily reach the top without scooting your hand up and down. You also have Apple Pay, which isn't active yet, and it'll be active in October. By the time maybe you're seeing this, it could be out already. But Apple Pay will allow us to pay with the phone, and Google's done this with their Android devices, and Windows Phone has done this as well, but Apple's promising a more secure way to do that, and we'll have to test that out when it comes out. We also have what Apple has is an app called Health, and Health probably will see a little bit more of that as new devices come out and integrate, such as the Apple Watch, and we'll see that kind of fill up. You can right now fill out some medical information, and that's about it. One of the biggest reasons people buy phones these days is for a good camera, and the camera within the iPhone 6 is best in class, and some people have debated this, but there's been a lot of recent tests done by notable professional organizations. They have tested these, and iPhone 6 and 6 Plus come out on top. They're really incredible cameras, and they have some nice features within the app. We have time-lapse and slow-mo, which is now 240 frames per second slow motion. We have 60 frame per second video you can turn on in the options, photo, square, and panoramic, and some other great little features that allow us to get some better camera apps if we want to tweak and make better adjustments. Now I'm recording with the front camera. It's a pretty decent camera, and it does have some software stabilization built in, but the rear camera is much better. Unlike its larger brother, the 6 Plus, the 6 does not have optical image stabilization, but it's pretty good. So take a look at these. battery in the iPhone 6 is actually pretty good. It's a little bit bigger battery than last year's iPhone 5S, and the 6 probably will get most people through a day with moderate use. If you're playing games, you may only get 3 to 4, and that's about half of what you would get on a 6 Plus, so that's something to consider as well. The iPhone 6 is by far my favorite iPhone to date. I love the larger screen size. The 6 Plus just isn't for me. That's too large and too much of a risk of me breaking it, honestly. It's just too big. I feel like I can't hold on to it. The 6 is the jewel and the perfect size, in my opinion. I really like the display. I love the curved glass, but because of its thinness, I do feel like I'm going to drop it a little bit. And I definitely think Apple could have made us more happy by thickening the back, adding a little bit more battery. Most people aren't going to complain about that if that's what you're doing. And it would be plenty thin if it was just flattened with the top of the camera and had a much larger battery, giving probably a huge advantage to iPhone users over many other phones. But they chose not to do that and continued their obsession with this thinness for some reason. Other than that, I really don't have any complaints. Some people may not like these little metal bands around the back or areas cut out for the antenna. It's more prominent in some colors than other, but overall, it's definitely my favorite iPhone that there's ever been. I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments below, though. Let me know what you think about the iPhone 6 or 6 Plus. Are you going to get either one of those, or are you going to pass for one of the newer Android phones or Windows phones? Let us know in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and like the video. Thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.